Hello, tonight's homework is 9.2.1, 54, 56, and 57, 59, and 60. Let me double check. That seems like a lot. Okay, that is correct. We got a lot to do. Okay, we're going to solve each inequality below algebraically, then represent your solution on the number line. Okay, so we're going to solve this and change it to an equal sign. And then I'm going to solve for x. So I want my x's on the same side. So I'm going to minus 2x on that side. And I have 3x minus 7 is equal to 5. I want x all by itself, so I'm going to add 7 to both sides, and I'm left with 3x equals 12. Divide 3 on both sides, and x equals 4. Okay, on my number line, I am going to put 4 here, 5 here, way over here 0. And I have to determine which way to shade. So I know x is going to be 4. Since this sign is greater than or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle. And now I just need to determine which way to shade. I'm most likely going to shade towards the right to greater than. So I'm going to plug x back in. So I'm going to have 5 times 4 minus 7 is greater than or equal to 2 times 4 plus 5. If this is true, then I know to shade. I'm sorry. We don't plug 4 back in. We're going to plug in 5. You're either going to test point 0 or 5. I'm going to test 5, and then I will do 0 because it's an easy one. Okay, so 5 times 5 is 25. 25 minus 7 should be 18. Okay, so is 18 greater than or equal to 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. Yes, it is. So that means 5 is true. So I shade and draw my arrow towards the 5. Okay, if I did 0, 5 times 0 is 0, minus 7 would be negative 7. Is negative 7 greater than or equal to 2 times 0 would be 0 plus 5 is 5. And no, negative 7 is not greater than or equal to. So that means I do not shade this way. Okay, this one right here, I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. And I'm left with 2x minus 29 equals 12. Add 29 on both sides. Okay, so 12 plus 29 is 41. So I have 2x equals 41. Divide 2, and x equals 41 divided by 2 is 20.5. Okay, so draw our number line. And we will draw 20.5 here. We'll draw 21 and 0. Okay, this is going to be an open circle because it is just greater than. And so when I test a point, let's test 0 because that's the easiest. So 6 times 0 minus 29 is going to be greater than 4 times 0 plus 12. 6 times 0 is 0. Negative 29 is going to be greater than 12. And that is false, so I'm going to shade in this direction. I do not shade towards 0. Okay. This one, I just want to put it, this one's a little bit different. I want to put this one in graphing form. So I'm going to add 4x and subtract 5 on both sides. So I'm left with x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. From this point, I'm going to factor this. to get it into, I said you have to put it in graphing form. You don't put it in graphing form. You just put it in factored form. Um, so it'd be x squared minus 5, negative 5x squared, and 4x would be negative 5x and 1x gives you, no, other way around. 5x and negative 1x. So this would be x plus 5 and x minus 1. So this is going to be x equals negative 5 and x equals 1. Okay, so my number line is going to be negative 5, and we'll do negative 6, and 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so these are both going to be open circles. So I have a negative 5 as an open circle. Oh, I'm sorry, it's closed circle. Sorry, see that? Closed circle, because it's greater than. It's less than or equal to, sorry. And then 1 is a closed circle. I'm going to test point 0 because that's the easiest to test. So going back to my original, 0 squared is 0. Is that going to be less than or equal to negative 4 plus 5? Is 0 less than or equal to 5? And the answer is yes. And so that means I'm going to shade everything in between where the 0 is. And then my answer, if I wanted to write it in inequality form, it would be negative 5 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 1. Determine which type of function, linear, quadratic, or exponential, would be best for modeling each situation below. You do not need to write the equation for this situation. Bailey is growing bacteria on a petri dish for science class. The population of bacteria doubles every 20 minutes. So the initial number of bacteria is 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, and 8,000. So since it is doubling, that is multiplication. And that means this is exponential. Avery is working on her math homework. She finished 9 problems in class. She knows that on average she can do 3 problems in 5 minutes. Okay, and so this is adding 3 problems every 5 minutes. And so this is linear. And Keaton loves catapults. He is building a small catapult that will launch an apple into the air and over the fence into his friend's backyard. Okay, so he's going to launch a catapult that will go over the fence and into the backyard. That's a parabola, so this is quadratics. $56. What is the difference between f of x equals the absolute value of x and y equals the absolute value of x? What conclusions can you draw? So f of x and y are the same thing. There is no difference. Doesn't matter. which one you use. All right, and then for 57, for each quadratic function below, complete the square to write it in graphing form. Then state the vertex and the y-intercept. Okay, so let's see if we can complete the square. So we have x squared plus 6x plus something that completes the square equals, if I was to subtract 15 on both sides, negative 15. So 6 divided by 2 squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So then I'm left with x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals negative 15 plus 9 should be negative 6. Okay, so this, I can see factors. 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 plus 3 is 6. So this would be x plus 3 squared. And then plus 6. Okay, so my vertex, this is now graphing form. My vertex would be negative 3, 6. And my y-intercept would be x 0, 0, 15. 0, 15. This one right here will complete the square. X squared minus 3x plus something equals negative 9 plus something. So negative 3 divided by 2 squared. Negative 3 divided by 2 squared is 2.25. 2.25. 2.25. So then I have x squared minus 3x plus 2.25 equals negative 9 minus 2.25 is negative 11.25. Okie dokie. So 2.25 divided by 2 is 1.125. 1.5? 1.5 times 1.5. 2 point. Okay. 1.5. So x minus 1.5 squared plus 11.25. Okay, so that means my vertex equals 1.5 and 11.25. Okay, and then your y-intercept is 0, 0, 9. 0, 9. Okay. Alrighty. Turn the page. We're going to solve each of these by having them set them equal to each other. Or this one is x equals. Okay, so I'm going to go 3 times 2y plus 8 minus y equals 14. So then 3 times 2y is 6y. 3 times 8 is 24. Minus y equals 14. 6y minus y is 5y. Then I have plus 24 equals 14. Subtract 24 on both sides, and 5y equals negative 10. Divide 5, and y equals negative 2. Okay, but I need to solve for x and y. So I'm going to plug it back into this equation where x equals 2 times negative 2 plus 8. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 8. X equals 4. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize it was out of focus. There we go. Okay, this one, they both equal x, so I'm going to set those equal to each other. 2y plus 2 equals negative y minus 10. Add y on both sides, so I'm left with 3y plus 2 equals negative 10. Subtract 2, 3y equals negative 12. Divide 3, and y equals negative 4. Okay. So then I have x equals 2 times negative 4 plus 2. X is going to equal negative 8 plus 2, and x equals negative 6. Oops, I put this in the wrong order. Negative 6, negative 4. Okay, so then we want these to, I can use the elimination method, and they're nicely set up. Eliminate my y's here. I have a negative and a positive. I have 18x, and 13 minus 4 is 9. And then divide by 18, and x equals 1/2. Okay, so plug it back into, we'll do this bottom equation. 2 times 1/2 plus y equals 13. 2 times 0.5 is 1 plus y equals 13. Subtract 1, y equals 12. And the last homework, we are going to plot ABC. So I have negative 1 is A. I have 1, 9, which is B. And I have 7, 5, which is C. Okay. What is the midpoint of segment AB? Ooh, midpoint. Okay. Okay, there is a midpoint formula, which is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So A, and B. So x1 is negative 1 plus x2 is 1 divided by 2. And then y1, negative 1 plus 9 divided by 2. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. Okay, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this would be 0, 4 is the midpoint. I didn't draw it very well, but it would be right here. We're going to label that D. Okay, so then it says what is the length of the mid segment D? Oh, sorry, skipped a whole thing. What is the midpoint of segment BC? Okay, I don't have a whole lot of room. I'm gonna write it up here. BC. BC. Okay. 1 minus plus 7 divided by 2 and 9 plus 5 divided by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4 and 14 divided by 2 is 7. So I have 4, 7, which is here, and that is E. Okay, so what is the length of segment DE? Oh, what is that length? Okay. Okay, so if I wanted to find this length, I could just draw a triangle here, use the Pythagorean theorem to find this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I automatically know this is going to be 5 with a 3, 4, 5 triangle. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 25 equals c squared. Square root of 25 is 5. Okay, so then we're going to use that to predict this length of AC. So these are similar triangles. And so if I just, let's see, AC would go from here to here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's twice as big. And so this would then be 10. So AC equals 10. DE equals 5. Calculate the length of AC. Oh, we did that. So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. 6 squared is 36. 8 squared is 64 equals c squared. 36 plus 64 is 100 equals c squared. Square root of 100 is 10. Okay, and determine the coordinates of point F that lies a quarter of the way from point B. Okay. We are not going to do this one. And that's tonight's homework.